in one on the day Adonai binds up the wounds of his people, Yah's people, and heals the bruise that caused by that blow. And this blow was the separation. Wisdom. Now, this is the book of wisdom, Proverbs, where it talks about wisdom has built herself a house. Now, wisdom has built herself a house. Now, let's go to that and read these standard scriptures. Wisdom has built herself a house. She has hewn her 7 pillars. Now, in these 7 pillars, they're connected to the 7 principal people. She has slaughtered her beast, drawn her wine. She has laid her table, or laid out her table. She has dispatched her maidservants and proclaimed from the heights above the city, who is simple, let him come this way. To the fools, she says, come and eat my bread, drink the wine which I have drawn, and leave foolishness behind, and you will live and go forward in the ways of perception. In other words, what it is saying in that scripture is, all these things that we have been taught in tradition, in the essence of being from the time of change, where we went from the 13 new moons to 12 months to 12 tribes, we know that Ayah has 7 principal people. And in these 7 principal people, the 7 lands, in each one of these lands, there is a female that represents wisdom. And her being an oracle of each one of these 7 lands give our people the confidence of being where they are by her continence and a connection to the spirit. However, in this, it raised a family. Some have went to the dark side, but the ones that truly belong to Ayah are here within sovereigns because they truly have the light. And these individuals who are the gatekeepers are females. And these females are powerful in spirit. And in this spirit, this house that develops, it has 7, and these 7 also come with something that is so wonderful. And that in this wonderfulness is that these 7 have 7 stones, 7 people, and 7 birth times. And even though they have 7 birth times, and we have 12 months, they repeat themselves. And this is where the letters come in, and these are the letters also. And this is where they call it the 7 double letters, because in that range of where we are, there's one that we know nothing about, and then there's one that is in the blue, and then there's the other that deals with the 13. And in these 13 is the factor that deals reflectively with the 13 that connect to the 7 primarily, like in the Megatron, where the 7 are outside with the 6th principle, which is 13, which is 4 in the path, connected to the pi, because 22 divided by 7 equals 3.14, goes to the name Ayah, and deals with the 7 principal people. Each one of these connects to the 7 birth zones. And each one of these have a time and place and where things are. And each one of these birth gates are in the connection to where we are and are about. And we talked about these different factors that deal with this. And in that one connection, I wanted to highlight that and show you how things are. But in this reference of where things are, I wanted to show you this. And that these things that are about us are about the 7 principles. And in these 7 principles of where we are, they connect to the 7 birth zones of the 13 new moons. And all these things that are there, we have the father letters, the mother letters, the zone, and the 7. And then we have here the 7, one's going twice from the east to the west, the 12 elementals, and then we have the 13 and the 22 collectively outside of the 13 new moon and in the range of 0 in the aspect of things to be. These are the things in the sacred wheel within the wheel of understanding the level. As we spoke about before and learned, There is no zero. There is no zero in the Jewish language. And there is no count of it. So therefore, it is not there. So when we're dealing with these things, they are in essence, in totality, connected to many different factors, and seven in itself are the seven principal people of the seven sacred letters. And these seven sacred letters, we've already discussed these seven sacred letters, and these seven sacred letters have birthstones, and these birthstones have a different time, essence, and place, and gifts to give to each individual. But there's a zero zone that collectively touch all 13 that makes an individual sacred and highly spiritual. And with these gifts, an individual becomes an oracle, a sacred warrior, or a priest within makings, depending upon the time of their birth.
I keep hearing you say a will within a will, that type of thing. The only other place that I hear about a will within a will is like when it's prophesied in with Daniel, I think it's with Ezekiel. Does that have anything to do with that?
In reference, it does, but go to Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter.
Ecclesiastes, 12th chapter.
Yes. Now, while you're doing that, let me continue. The zero in itself is an aspect that goes into the black dot, which is then that wheel. Within that wheel there, which is the 22, it's called the Athaya.
You said Ecclesiastes?
Ecclesiastic. You know that standard, not that one. That's an apocryphal book. That would be the one. How you pronounce that? Ecclesiastes. Right. 12th chapter.
12th chapter. Okay, I got you. Last one.
Go ahead. What does it say?
And remember, start at the beginning.
Go ahead.
And remember your Creator in the days of your youth, before evil days come and the years approach, when you say, these give me no pleasure. Before sun and light, the moon and stars grow dark, and the clouds return after the rain.
Go ahead.
The day when those who keep the house trembling and strong men abound, when the women grind no longer at the mill, because day is darkening at the windows, and the street doors are shut. When the sound of the mill is faint, when the voice of the bird is silent, when the song notes are still, when to go uphill is an ordeal, and a walk is something to dread. Yet the almond tree is in flower. The grasshopper is heavy with food, and the caper bush bears its fruit. While man goes to his everlasting home, and the mourners are already walking.
Now stop right there. Now, there is the key. While man goes to his everlasting home. In other words, when a man dies, remember that. When a man dies, that's what it says in the common, right? Go ahead. When a man dies, go ahead.
Goes to his everlasting home,
Mhm.
and the mourners are already walking to and fro in the street. Before the silver cord has snapped.
Before the silver cord is snapped. That's your silver cord, which is your blue electric line. Go ahead.
Or the golden lamp been broken.
The golden lamp been broken. The golden lamp is your priesthood, and you're connected to your auric field that's around you.
Or the pitcher shattered at the spring.
The pitcher is shattered at the spring. In other words, where you are a vessel that holds water, and 70% is of you of water, as they say, and you're just leaking all over the place or broken. Go ahead.
Or the pulley cracked at the well.
Or the pulley crack at the well. Go ahead.
Or before the dust returns to the earth as it once came from it.
Now, when they're saying the pulley cracked at the well, that's where a lot of scriptures say the wheel within a wheel. Because a pulley has a wheel within the wheel and a rope. And it continues to make the flow and brings the water to and fro. All right? But go ahead and finish it.
And the breath of Ayah who gave it.
In other words, the one who returns home on what we call death, when they are connected and they are not, where their pitcher is not broken in the cistern and etc. Those who belong to Ayah on their breath shall be attached to the electric blue of the silver cord, and they shall return to Ayah.